My first hack is basically to open up a student bank account. Now, most of you guys probably already have a bank account, but not a student one. And these are absolutely great for a couple of different reasons. One, you can obviously put all your money together and focus it for uni in one location. But if you open up a student bank account, a lot of them have little opportunities that you can have, such as discounts and offers. But I really think it's quite useful that you can basically get an interest-free overdraft. So with the NatWest one, you can actually get £500 in your first term and £2,000 in the other terms after that. And I know there were times where, you know, I just needed to make ends meet before my student loan dropped. We have all been there. And I felt like if you are someone who is quite smart with money and you know you can pay it back, then having an overdraft which is interest free is amazing. Interest free money is free money. You can actually do something quite creative with that might be able to maximize your money and income as well. So my first tip when it comes to organizing your wardrobe is to create categories. Now, y'all know me, you guys know that I am a very big nerd. I love Excel, and don't think I didn't have an Excel / a 3-page document when it came to organizing and clearing up my closet. And I think it's so important to create categories. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So what I basically did was I created categories of the types of clothing I wanted to have in my closet. So I have tops, bottoms, outerwear and dresses, and within say tops I have 4 to 5 different types of tops. So knitwear, button down, t-shirt, vest and something else. So you definitely have to create the categories that work for you, but it's definitely worth just sitting down and working out what you want to be in those categories. And then when I've got those categories, I basically organize by color, style, trend and all the different things that are important to me. So you guys know that I'm a foodie and that when I see food, my eyes boggle out of my head. I'm very excited by it, and I'm not all about diet. So one of the things I like to do is substitution. So rather than eating a big plate of rice, a rice mountain as I call it, I might have a rice molehill instead and swap that out for like veggies and fill up on them, like a stir fry vegetables with like a splash of oil in it and lots of seasoning, because I like my food to at least have a nice taste to it. And things like making healthy swaps. So I'm now not having as much bread as I used to have, like normal bread, and now I'm using rye bread because it's higher in fiber, it keeps you full for longer, and different things like that. So you don't necessarily have to be like, I can't eat that anymore, you know, starving yourself. Just swap it out for things that are probably lower calorie and better for your health. The first thing when it comes to looking expensive is to have your hair and your makeup done in a way that is appropriate. When I see a girl whose hair is like sleek, tight, in order, her makeup is smooth and dewy and not overdone, beautiful and blended, that already is going to make you look expensive. French women focus a lot on their like skincare and what they use on their face, and really this is the first step to beauty. If you can have your hair and your makeup in a way that's quite elegant, so sleeked and tied back, you're already going to look like $1,000,000. You've got a little bit of money and you want to buy into a designer, but you can't necessarily afford that designer, rather than going for the £3,000 Chanel bag or the £2,000 Gucci bag, potentially you might want to buy something that's entry level into the brand. So currently the Gucci belts are absolutely popping because they are like £200, £250, and you can wear them with everything, whether it's a Hermes scarf or Celine glasses or, you know, a Chanel ribbon, something along those lines. Or even if you want to buy a perfume of a brand just so you can buy into it. So I remember my mom, she always used to buy a Dior perfume every Christmas because she couldn't exactly buy Dior, but because she wanted to just have a little something expensive in her collection, she would always buy herself that Dior perfume. If you can get the entry-level products and wear them well, it's a great way to look expensive without having to spend, you know, for the premium prices in the collection. The first thing on my mom's checklist is to avoid having Cold wet wipes on your baby's bottom. There is nothing fun about a cold wet wipe, and if you find that your baby is sometimes a bit like skittish when you want to change them and they don't like to be changed because it's uncomfortable or they're startled, try warming it up, especially during the winter. What I like to do is basically put wet wipes upside down on top of the radiator for about 30 seconds. It just warms it up a little bit, or to use a blow dryer to give it a little bit of warmth before it goes on my baby's bum. So, have you ever had a blanket on your stroller, your baby kicks it off, it ends up on the ground covered in the dirt and mud and wet? Oh, it's not great. And especially during the winter, having a blanket in your stroller is like essential. So one of the hacks that I found that was really cool was basically to use a key lock, which you can attach to the side of your stroller, and you can create a little bit of a hole inside your blanket on both sides, and it kind of creates a permanent blanket that cannot be kicked off by your little one. It's really great to keep them warm, and you know that your blanket's not going to end up on the floor. Also, an extra hack is that you can add a hot water bottle in half an hour or so before you go out, just to make sure it is nice and toasty. When it comes to getting your finance in check, the first thing you want to do is to check your credit. And when I was younger, credit was not something that I thought about, but it's one of those things that impact you in the long run. So even if you are 17, 18 right now, knowing what your credit status, if any, is a really important. I know people who might have taken out like a store card when they were like 18. Yeah, they're like, do you have a store card? Sure, I'll open up a store card. But actually, I know someone who didn't pay their store card, and when they came 2 years later or 3 years later to get a loan to pay for their master's degree, they were not able to because they defaulted on payments, and it had impacted their credit score. And credit score basically impacts your ability to get a mortgage, to get a loan. If you wanted to start a business, it impacts your ability to get a car if you want to get a car on finance, and in some cases credit scores can even impact employment. So it's something to definitely keep on top of. The best way is to basically check what your credit score is. There's an amazing site called Credit Sesame, which you guys in the US and I think in some other countries can use, which basically allows you to check your credit score. You can get credit analysis, and this is obviously free, and you get lots of information on a monthly basis. You can also get free ID protection, which is worth about $50,000. And if you don't know, identity theft is a big thing and really can impact your credit score as well. Concept when it comes to finances is a divide and conquer, and I feel like budgeting is one of those things that gets far too complicated. You've got to think about it too much, and I'm totally for the concept of automating your finances. And when I say divide and conquer, just think of all the money you get in like a pie. Right? So the concept is basically to calculate all the money that you make for a period of time, and then you take out what do you need to live on and keep that in one account. That is your current account. That's what you need per month, and you can divide that up by the week or however you like to. And then with whatever balance you have, a quarter of that should be spent in savings, a quarter of that should be spent in investments, and then you should leave a little bit of a balance there to basically allow you to have a little bit of fun with as well. And the key thing you can do is literally set up different current accounts. You might keep it with the same bank, but at least you have put some money aside that is going to better your future. So when it comes to spending, which you eventually have to do at least, basically try and spend smart. Obviously, sale shopping is great, but I also believe that if you're going to buy something, buy good quality items. And I have this rule, kind of 1 in, 1 out. So if I'm going to buy something, I'm either going to sell something on something like Depop, or give it away, or make some money on it, or give it to a younger cousin, or something along those lines, to basically mean that you're not going to just buy new stuff and keep hoarding and gathering and whatever. Just try not to do that, and instead just focus on getting 1 in and 1 out. If you are going to shop as savvy as you can, and don't waste money on things that you don't really want or need. When it comes to uni, you basically need a really basic, everyday, almost like uniform kind of look. And then for your night outs, you can go on the cheapy and find some items that are bargains here and there, sell stuff that you might not wear regularly, but you can pass through to your friends and everybody share and make work.